Paige Pierce has played a million events, actually I think 367 career events, and is no stranger to winning, though we haven't seen her quite as much as we're used to in the last few years. She has had that injury she's recovered from, but she is looking true to form out there. Paige has not been on a major lead card since 2022 Worlds, so it's great to see her out here back-to-back days and in contention for the win.
Silva's a younger player on tour, but you would never know. She's playing super consistent golf, but still looking for that first win in the United States. She's got 7 strokes to make up tomorrow on Championship Sunday, and that could happen with how consistent she can play, but she was looking a little bit nervous today, and we're going to have the same win and the same layout tomorrow. We'll see what it has in store for Silva.
Missy Gannon came out swinging in moving day. She shot 1038 rated, which I believe that is the highest of her career. If Missy's going to pull off this win, which I think she can absolutely do, she's 3 strokes ahead and doesn't look like she's stopping anytime soon. Consistency is going to be the key for Missy.
So something interesting about Kristin approaching the day is that she has never been to any OTB event at Swenson Park. So this is her first time playing. She does not have the experience on the course that everyone else does, but she's still looking really strong, really using her forehand out there a lot. I think if we see her forehand continue to be as strong as it was today, we could see Kristin really scoring on this layout again tomorrow. Kristin's got 3 strokes back from Missy Gannon right now, and if her putt stays on tomorrow in the wind, I think we could see her really storm the castle tomorrow. Hello and welcome to the final round of the 2025 PDGA Champions Cup presented by OTB and MVP Disc Sports. We're out here for our final round at Swenson Park Disc Golf Course. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 hot geese. And I can't wait to see who storms the castle, how they do it, what are the tactics. Will there be cavalry?
Moat building.
Before we get into all that, we do have our first of 4 collaborations this year. Our first one for the Jomez Tour Series is the DGA Rift. Check it out at JomezPro.com. They are available now. Cheers. As we said, Missy Gannon shooting that 10 down yesterday, putting her in a 3-stroke lead over Kristin Lätt. Paige Pierce 4 strokes back. Silva Saarinenn having a rough day, particularly on the back 9 yesterday, and dropping back to a 7-stroke deficit.
Pretty big gap between our lead and chase card, so it's likely going to be one of the 4 competitors we watched today. Let's get things started.
Hole 1 is a par 3, same as yesterday, 311 feet. The drone is taking the left route, which can work with a turning shot or a forehand. I like the right side hyzer play. Keep in mind that today is quite windy. I think the windiest we've experienced so far.
From Beacon, New York, Missy Gannon.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as chilly as yesterday, and the wind didn't feel quite as fierce here on hole 1, but it was definitely not accurate for what the rest of the round was. It was just from a slightly different direction, pretty strong west wind, but you can see the gust rolling through on the elevated stage here at hole 1. OTB does a great job really hyping everybody up entering the round.
Missy really giving Kristin a run for her money with that top.
Next up, from Pärnu, Estonia, Kristin Lätt.
Missy going to catch that one very dense tree.
Kristin's stats looking pretty incredible for her first time competing at this course. As we said in the intro, she doesn't have the experience on this course or layout that anyone else really does, but thankfully a lot of the holes here in the B layout are new.
And a great first shot.
From Pensacola, Florida, Paige Pierce.
It's been great to see so much of Paige out here at OTB. She's got a few wins at this event under her belt. going wide right side, but maybe not wide enough.
And from Oiti, Finland, Silva, Saarinenn.
Silva came out firing in the A layout on days 1 and 2. He struggled a little bit on the B layout yesterday, or maybe just in the windy conditions. The wind is going to clock around. I think yesterday it was coming a little bit more from the direct north. Today it's a little bit more westerly. So it does change the disc selection on every hole. This tree really gobbles disc, but thankfully it spits Silva's out.
Yeah, I think that tree is impossible to climb. It's
Look
like
at their outfits.
oh,
matching.
cute.
Oh, I love that.
Silva's sister on the bag caddying for her.
Yeah, flew all the way from Finland for the event.
Wow, it's gusting.
Oh my gosh, the branch is falling.
Silva outside circle 2, it looks like, or maybe just on the edge.
Yeah, we're used to dodging the wind just a little bit in the morning. The FPO competitors have that advantage, but that was not the case today. It stayed very windy starting very early.
Silva gonna have a lot of work to do to save that par. Paige with just a simple layup. Missy also leaving her layup just a tad short. I think, yeah, it's going to be tough adjusting to a different wind direction. Even though it was windy in practice, or in the tournament compared to practice, it was largely the same direction for most of it, so it's strange to have to adjust so suddenly.
Wow, that's really an insane putt.
Yeah, it'll boost your confidence too.
Directly into the headwind. One of the most difficult things today too is it was really gusty, a little swirly as well, but it would be calm for a second and then all of a sudden be a really intense gust. There's a lot of disc switching happening, but these ladies looking like they're having no problem from circle's edge into a headwind.
Kristin, the only competitor on our lead card to have a chance at the birdie. Leaves it short. We do know statistically Kristin is better at leading than chasing, though once again, never want her chasing you.
Only 6 birdies out of our 27 competitors today. We had a 45% cut for Championship Sunday, so stats will be a few less people today. Missy still holding on to that 3-stroke lead after everyone pars on our lead card.
Check out Annika and Sten, 4 down through 4.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Here's hole 2. It's 594 feet. It was our hole 18 from last year with some minor tweaks. You want to throw a driver as far as you can down this tree tunnel to get yourself nice and opened up for the second shot. In the B position, we are a little bit more clocked around to the right side, so if you don't land far enough, you really do have a disadvantage without a nice powerful sidearm. There is not OB inside the circle, which is rare out here on this layout at OTB and pretty friendly, but with the wind, this hole definitely plays difficult as you go around the corner. With a tailwind here on the tee pad.
Missy with almost a perfect shot. I think she's far enough around the corner to be able to attack from there. That center line is tough with the tailwind. You don't want it to fade towards that out of bounds line. Kristin sticking with that sidearm up the middle play, but catches that center tree. She is in par land.
Yeah, this played as the second most difficult hole today, which is
Oh.
a little surprising because it was one of the few holes that we played with a tailwind. That right to left crosswind as you turn right and head towards the green was a little difficult, but I'm pretty surprised by this being the most difficult hole of the day.
Paige kind of grip blocking there, sends it pretty far to the right, but does get a fortunate bounce back towards the fairway. This looks great.
Oh yeah, nice correction from Silva yesterday. She grip locked it a little bit and went right into the trees. She is definitely far enough right now to attack on her second shot to the green.
Just one teeny tiny tree in her way.
Like Erika said, Paige pretty firmly in par land. Just got to get this putter to turn around the corner and stop before OB. She's nice and centered and just has a little chip shot up to the green.
I've been thinking about leasing an apartment in Parland. Do you think it's a good idea, or is the market good for that right now?
Honestly, I think it's a great move. I think pars will win tournaments.
Top 10 at least.
Yeah.
Kristin laying up with a little forehand right behind said tree. And yeah, Missy did make the corner. It's kind of hard to see on the screen. That second tree, little tree with the little guardian posts, it's to the right of that.
Basically right where Missy's disc is going, hyzering out just a bit early.
Yeah, she'll be about 40 feet for a birdie. Probably a headwind putt from there, I'd imagine, though.
Mm-hmm.
This is a cool framed up shot.
Yeah. Silva with her trademark, very good standstill shot.
Is that what she decided to call it?
Yeah.
Honestly,
VGSS.
I believe it. Like,
Her and Henna both. I don't know who's better. They both have that little nice little standstill touch shot.
Elle and I were debating this too. Henna's definitely better at the patent pending version.
And the right finishing one, maybe.
Yeah, but so they're different. They're both so good.
Both so good. Kristin with an advantage here, having this sidearm. Oh. She seems to be lined up pretty well, though, with this little tree.
How many times have these tiny little trees come into play this weekend?
Oh my gosh, I bet so much.
Like, I swear they probably came out here and were like, should we go here? Moved it 3 inches. Like, no, this is probably the best spot.
And we saw Paige's disc react off one, I think yesterday. It's like a wire mesh around it that's kind of loosely tied. So when your disc hits it, it like trampolines off of it. It's not just like a little kick.
Yeah. Kristin gonna have a putt at it. Paige working her little hyzer flip fierce. Absolutely perfect.
There were only 4 birdies on hole 2 today, and you can see where the difficulty lies, seeing our lead card having to make some long putts just to save their pars.
Kristin from 40. Air balls to the right.
Here's a little gust of wind just in time for Missy's putt from circle 2. She's looking like around 55 feet.
Oh,
Ooh! Okay. 2 in a row.
that's great. Wow, big putt.
Yeah, she showed up focused. Silva with the steady right to left crosswind. No problem.
Nice. Also 2 for 2. Great putting in the wind.
Silva, one of those 4 birdies. Silva and Missy, both. 2 of the 4 birdies, Evelina Saarinen and Anniken Sten. The only other 2 in the field today.
Yeah, we know Anniken is 4 down through 4, so she's gotten every hole we were going to see so far.
Wow, spoiler alert.
We already saw it. So she goes on to finish the round. And Kristin going to take the bogey there, unable to scramble for that par. And Silva going to extend her lead to 5. Hole 3, a par 4, same as it's been all weekend, 573 feet. Most women are going to split the gap that we just went through. Kristin has been throwing a forehand. You can throw hyzer, you can throw flex. Just do what your heart tells you to. There is a mandatory on the right, but it doesn't really come into play. The OB line on the left definitely can if you're not careful. I think the main difficulty of this hole is that low ceiling as you enter the green. It's probably tucked back 100 feet in there, so you really have to keep your approach shot nice and low and or get some ground play to get close.
Missy going through the 2 trees with a nice little hyzer shot. This tee shot was a little scary. We had a right to left crosswind that was ripping pretty good for most of the flight of the disc.
Kind of pushing it towards that OB line if you weren't careful.
Yep, and it was almost a little heady at times as well. So any of those hyzer shots that you normally throw could flip up. You can see Silva opting for a center gap instead. Yesterday she went the hyzer line further right.
Yeah, and even that's going to find nearly the OB, and you could see the wind kind of yo-yo the disc as it was in the air.
Here are probably one of the best spectator groups at Swenson Park, the Tailgaters. Ooh, style points. Oh, no. Really?
What was I saying about that mandatory?
Yeah. Really unfortunate redirect there.
Yeah, that it must have switched to a headwind in that moment. You saw how much that disc turned. Do these tailgaters have a name?
I wish they did.
Let's think about it. Ooh, look at this nice turning shot. Kristin able to use the wind to her advantage with that forehand.
I feel like we have Pirate Island, and they can be like the Swenson swashbucklers.
Oh,
Keep
sure.
the pirate themed.
I like it. I hope they adopt that next year. Paige having to think about this mandatory probably more than any other competitor on the weekend. That was great.
Yeah, and she's still in parland. It's a difficult shot from there, but definitely still gettable.
I mean, yeah, her shot is right next to Missy and Silva's drives. So definitely difficult. Let's see how Missy does.
The second shot definitely caters to the forehand. Missy going to have to throw something really low and punchy to get under the tree line and get the ground play to get all the way up into circle 1. And she does just that. She is going to be in that tree line on the right-hand side, maybe with a little bit of obstruction on the putting green.
Just punchy enough for Missy Gannon. Oh, that looks punchy.
That's so good. So touchy. Such perfect speed control.
Such a nonchalant wave. Paige gonna try to follow suit here. Doesn't quite flip. Oh, okay, yeah, that's great.
It's really difficult to throw with a flippy putter like she just did on this shot. You see most players reaching for something a little bit faster and just kind of throwing it at the ground almost, letting it slide. Pretty cool to see Paige flip something up and let it glide. Very touchy little shot.
And look how far Kristin's forehand got. Huge tee shot, just going really wide. Not really too wide on the approach, though. Gonna be pretty deep in circle 2. But an open look. Maybe one branch in the way?
Yeah. Giving it a really solid bid. There were 8 birdies on hole 3 today out of 27 competitors.
Missy working hard for hers. Look at that one little stick in her way. Ah! Such a good effort. And what a professional par save there. That was a really bad reaction off that tree and could have turned into a bogey so easily.
Kristin with a little bit of work left, coming back for her par. And Silva for another birdie. I love going through these trees like Kristin is right now. I feel like Homer Simpson. Every day.
I've not seen that, honestly.
I did it every day.
I like it.
It's like because it looks so thick on the other side, but there's kind of a lot of little gaps you can sneak through. Shortcut.
And Silva now only 1 stroke behind Paige and Kristin. Missy, I don't want to call it a comfortable buffer, but 5 strokes ain't too bad.
No, and she's looking really solid right now, really comfortable. Hole 4 is a short par 3 that has a different pin position from the first 2 days. You can see the basket on the right side of the screen right now. That's what we were before. Now we're at this elevated pin, and it is slightly higher than the lighthouses we normally see on the Pro Tour. It was very windy today. Very, very, very windy on this particular green. Kind of a headwind, sometimes a right to left crosswind, swirling a little bit and gusting pretty hefty at times. You see a lot of different choices on this tee pad. You can see forehands all the way up the left side. You can see a backhand up this right gap that looks like Silva's lining up, and there's also a flex backhand as well.
This is my favorite line. Silva managing that really well.
I know we talked about it yesterday, and that I was probably the only player that did that, but Owen did it today.
Oh, the flex around the left side?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she would. I propose instead of lighthouse, we call this one a log house, or maybe a log home.
Log cabin. Come on, Erika. A log home.
No, I think yes. Missy with a beautiful shot.
It's a log cabin it is.
Silva threw a proton matrix there. Missy with her ESP swirls captain pressure.
Oh God.
Paige with a buzz.
Just mastering the hyzer flip. Kristin lining up the forehand again. Going inside of those 2 really tall mozzarella sticks.
All right, everyone putting at the cabin.
Leafless trees.
Silva from about 30 feet.
It's looking like a headwind here, which is opposite from when I went through.
Oh boy, it's acting like a headwind, that's for sure. Keeping that disc up and taking it outside the circle.
It's kind of weird too because we've all played on the elevated baskets from the Pro Tour a million times, but this one's just slightly higher, so you can feel that difference pretty substantially. We watched Hannah Wynn struggle from inside the bullseye yesterday.
Yeah. Three putt from Silva. Kristin, for birdie. Little low right.
Missy with a chance to take another stroke here.
2 strokes.
2 strokes. She is
over Silva anyway.
Yeah, on fire on the putting green right now.
Paige to keep pace. Stay within that 5-stroke limit. Nicely done.
Shout out to Kona Montgomery and Sarah Hokum for parking this hole. Missy and Paige were 2 of 8 birdies today. Unfortunate to see the 3-putt on the elevated basket, but it's like a snake bite. Can't get anyone.
Kristin gonna drop to 6 strokes back of our leader, Missy Gannon.
Just like that.
Yeah, Missy's starting to briskly walk away, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Hole 5, our first par 5, 891 feet. I like this center gap, but you'll see hyzers, you'll see left side gap. There's OB along the fence line the whole way. This OB green we just passed on the left. Second shot is pretty difficult through that tunnel. If you're more to the left off the tee, it opens up that gap. There's a sneaky right side gap that Silva's been trying to work on the second shot. And then of course you have your approach shot under a pretty good guardian tree right in front of the basket. That one right there, some low hanging branches there, and a couple of small trees to navigate as well on that final approach. But we've seen Paige and Kristin throw so far on their second shots that it's just a chip as opposed to, usually it's a full drive on the third.
Yeah, really making this par 5 look simple. And I've called it even a friendly par 5 the last couple of days, but I have firmly changed my stance. This is a hard hole.
It is hard.
Just, if you don't get through this initial gap like we just see with Paige right now, it can be really tough to recover because that middle section can get pretty crowded with how the trees are spaced out and how low hanging the branches are.
I would call this a friendly par 5 in the fact that if you do hit the gap, par's pretty simple.
Yes.
But birdie is very difficult.
The more I watch this left side route, the more I kind of like it. That middle gap is very doable, but it's just high risk.
It is.
Also, the more surprised I am to see, we saw Evelina do it yesterday, Paige today, that hyzer gap on the right. It is the closest to the tee, but it's just still not a very big gap, especially when Paige can probably drop a bomb like Kristin did down the left side. Here she has to make a decision. Do I want to try to go through this little corner route, which looks like that's what she's doing, and she is doing it well.
Wow, great recovery. Yeah, I think we're going to see more and more women take that left side, which is funny because when this hole first existed, I don't know. I feel like people were trying it, and then.
But that's when everyone was throwing 270. No.
Okay. Yeah.
No, but like a mid-level FPO player was throwing like 310.
Yeah.
On a good day.
You're right. Missy making it through the gap nicely. Silva making this gap about as big as you're ever going to see it. She's in a really prime position and makes it through, but it's a little too turned.
Yeah, you do want some right finish, but that was just a tiny bit too much. She's going to be in prime position to be lined up with all of the low-hanging trees.
Distance-wise, she could still make it with something really technical.
Yep. This looks much better from Kristin. A little right turn and then some nice fade at the end. She's going to be lined up nice and centered.
Wow, what a rip. Not even, I would say maybe 250 feet away, something like that.
Yeah, and with her forehand, not a lot of thinking having to be done.
Paige with the sole. Oh, she is pinched on this gap. Oh, she's just going to concede the par.
Oof.
Definitely not what she was looking for, but she is out at least.
Silva's third. You can see her throwing around all those low-hanging branches. This is so good.
What was I saying about she needed something, what was it?
Really technical?
Really technical. What a shot.
What a shot. Missy sitting pretty for her third shot. Nice and wide open. Needs a gentle right finishing shot here.
That's going to fade out. Drops outside circle 2. Easy par at least.
This plays in the top 5 most difficult holes of the day. There were only 3 birdies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Paige scrambling so well today. Out of position on hole 2 and here.
Shout out to the Stockton locals. And I'm sure there's people traveling from everywhere, but the gallery was absolutely insane for the lead card today.
Love to see it.
Just, there was roars that like rivaled the Masters. And like you look across the course and you're like, what's going on over there? Oh, that's the gallery.
Awesome.
It was so awesome.
Missy giving it a run. Kristin gonna make up 1 stroke back and get back to even par on the round after a perfect upshot. Here's Silva for another birdie. Off the top again. Oh, stop.
Wow. Look how much spin she puts on that disc. Paige just scrambled the par. Working hard here.
Ooh, squeaks it in.
Silva, even after a lot of action on the last putt, able to save that par. Kristin with the only birdie look on the card.
And a nice conversion from Kristin.
One of only 3 today. Hannah Blumroos and Evelina Saarinen, the only other 2 to find the birdie on hole 5. As we walk past the Foxton, everyone's looking for the little foxlets.
Kits.
Kids, oh yeah.
Fox kits.
Obviously.
I like foxlets. Words are what we decide they are. I
Yes.
believe that's how language works.
Yep, as long as I got the point across. Oh, hole 6. This is different from the A layout, one of the par 3s that is a completely different tee and basket. It says 354, but it plays so much farther than that. It's a little bit uphill, especially in the second half of the hole. It forces you to throw a distance hyzer shot. There's no real way to flex something all the way there. It just finishes so far left late in the flight of the disc. There's some tree branches up high that don't let you air it out quite as much as you want to get all the way down there. I would say it plays like 380 maybe.
Yes.
385,
Absolutely.
maybe even more.
Like middle of the field, you're stoked to get to edge of circle 2, basically.
You see Kristin
Ooh.
trying to cheat the corner here, and
She cheated something.
she sure did. That's really the only way to get there without a really insane distance hyzer flip.
Or just pure hyzer if you're
Yeah.
Taylor Chosek.
Oh, what a beast.
It was crazy.
Probably really high, too.
So high.
Really?
It disappeared into the sky. Missy taking the widest part of the gap. And that's the
Great
reddest
shot.
part of the heat map.
Yep.
And a great shot.
Yep, that is a very common landing zone. See a lot of FPO players from deep circle 2 for their birdie. Paige,
Ooh.
hyzer flipping like she does. Really nice, right outside the bullseye. Wow. What a flex. So we see Paige and Kristin both getting to circle 1 in regulation. Only 3 competitors out of 27 got to circle 1 in regulation.
That sounds right.
That shows you how hard it is. The wind was not super consistently difficult on this hole, but when it did blow, it was a headwind.
Silva gonna find circle 2. How many people landed in circle 2?
10 out of 27.
Okay.
So the top 27 competitors at this championship, only 10 able to find circle 2. That's just, it's a long one.
It's a long one. Better than that triple mando, though.
Mm.
Silva. Dead center band.
I'm a weirdo. I like the triple mando better. I think this hole is pretty dreadfully boring.
It is dreadfully boring, but the triple mando is a circus, which makes sense why you like it.
I love circus golf.
Skill shot world champ.
And Paige taking advantage on this hole with her skill set. What a great birdie. I don't hate having a hole that really highlights distance throwers, and I think that is the case here, but I am surprised to see only 3 competitors getting to circle 1 in regulation.
Yeah, that 354 is just a dirty lie.
It sure is. Kristin with a little bit of luck on her side as well.
Perfect power and speed control, though.
Yeah.
But definitely some luck. That was a
As well.
tiny little branch that she went over.
Teeny tiny. Yeah, and the fact that she's able to get the disc to go that far flat like that, she didn't give it any height at all. Anakin still with the hot round at 6 down through 9.
Hole 7, another par 5. This one, a must get. 760 feet. We're going to see everyone take this middle gap and then try to get to the left to open up this secondary gap here. We have seen Kristin the first 2 days trying to get the eagle. We've seen some attempts, but haven't seen one on the weekend yet. I think we would in calm conditions. Oh, we did see one. Ella Hansen got it.
Yeah, she got it in round 3.
But we haven't seen it, so I'm
Yeah,
still
we haven't
right.
watched it.
Yes. There is out of bounds that comes into play behind the basket, which is on a little hill and can make for some tough putting, but this is when you are disappointed if you don't get it, and I'm sure Kristin is disappointed with that very low and short drive, though birdie is still in play from there. We don't often get to play a par 5 where you can kind of mess up one shot and still get the birdie. This looks beautiful from Paige.
Yeah, the hole gets a lot simpler by being able to finish way left like that. Although, I don't know if they cleared out that right side tree line that's on the second shot, but I feel like it's so much friendlier than years past. It looks
really?
like an actual feasible option now.
It's always been
Nice.
fine. I wouldn't call it nice, but I couldn't tell. I used to go that way all the time.
I used to look at that thing like it had teeth. Now I'm like, oh, it looks kind of fine over there.
Yeah, it's not bad. Missy with a good tee shot. Silva flipping hers up a little more than she wants, but birdie's still in play over there.
Yeah, we had a pretty stiff headwind on this hole for most of it. Not looking too bad right now, but you definitely feel it more on the green. It was weird. It felt like every direction you turned, it was a headwind. Even though that doesn't make sense because the holes are all navigated different directions.
That's how disc golf works.
Yeah.
And the title of my podcast, Always a Headwind. Silva turning hers too much, catching a tree, not going to be in a good spot. Will you be my first guest?
Yeah, I think I can contribute to the subject.
Okay, great.
Missy keeping it nice and low in that headwind. Really skilled decision making here.
Paige really far up here, looking for that eagle. This has plenty of power, it looks like. In circle 2.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Here's Silva under that right side tree line. Nice and open still. She's doing a great job of keeping it low, but needs to climb a little bit more up the hill. There's OB behind the basket on the hill, like Erika said earlier, so you can't come in too hot at basket high.
Yeah, scary putt though, especially since Silva, when she misses, has tended to kind of blow by the basket.
Yeah, high of it.
Wow, Missy, I thought kind of yanked it, but it's a nice stable disc, so just a little wider than she meant.
The wind was pretty brutal on the screen. You can see it kind of holding Missy's disc to the right. think forehand is definitely a bit of an advantage here with the wind direction. Kristin really trusting this disc. That's so good.
It is great. And that's not her normal harp.
Did her normal harp get sidelined?
I think it's probably flippier than... I also think that white one is a harp, but maybe
Yeah.
a premium plastic.
The blue one got put in timeout.
Just for a headwind for like 1 second.
Paige going by a little low, but not OB. Silva, a little more conservative of a run there, which is smart, but unfortunately just going to come up short on the cage. This played as the second easiest hole of the day, but it also played more difficult today than the rest. The wind was pretty brutal. Missy going to add another birdie to her scorecard.
Wow. Now, I wonder what the easiest is.
Any guesses?
Feels like cheating for a game.
We make the rules.
You're right. You're right.
I won't call you on it.
Maybe, what's 14?
Okay.
No. You? Think about it. 3 birdies there. Silva not really satisfied with a par. She's 9 strokes off the lead now. Paige and Kristin both within 4.
I think I'm going to say 8. It's not the one that's usually a par 4, but now it's a par 3.
Oh, no, the little water shot.
Oh, no, not this one. 9. I'm going to say 9.
Okay.
Here is a 285-foot par 3 that just seems like it would be so easy, but we had a pretty screaming headwind today. Those reeds are just high enough to make you think, and the low-hanging tree branches don't let you air your shot out to the right like you want with some hyzer on it. Then add an elevated pin to the mix, and it makes all of the shots from the left side that hyzer out a little bit early. Very scary to run. The OB comes up quick on the back side and right side of the green. Kristin definitely has an advantage being able to throw her forehand here.
And also a really smart change. She threw an orbit rive today, stabling up from the orbit grace that she's been throwing. She did the same thing, I believe, on the last hole, just kind of showing how windy it is. Kristin doesn't change her game plan super often.
Paige knows out of her hand. It's just a teeny bit early. It doesn't flip up, but it's absolutely fine there. Of course, not quite as close as you want for the birdie, but you're happy if it's not out of bounds on that green on the left side.
Oh,
Wow.
Missy, risky girl.
Getting fancy. Oh, man, that's got to be inches from being safe.
Too fancy. Tried to get cute.
Is it on this hole all shots go to
I believe it's a may proceed, not
may
must.
proceed? Yep, may proceed to drop zone or standard OB rules.
Silva taking the wide hyzer line.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, she makes it in.
They look like
She's
they
probably in by an inch, and Missy's out by an inch.
They look like they almost could be on top of each other.
They're probably making minis over there.
Yes.
And Party Island, located right next to the tee of 8. Already partying this early in the morning.
Shout out to all the pirates. Oh.
Oh, she's got a backboard, so
Yes, she does.
cool run.
Sending it. Look at these tree branches dance. Paige was laying these up yesterday. There she goes again. Smart play.
Hard to make yourself do that, though.
Yes, it is.
Missy looking to save. Oh, kind of a half go.
Smart, though. She's going to have a tailwind putt for her par look. Kristin with a very technical knee putt on this elevated pin.
Yeah, look at that one branch in the way, and also weirdly high floor. Not able to convert that one.
This played as the third easiest hole of the day, which is wild.
Oh no. Kristin with a long comebacker and unable to save the par. Wow. Very, very rarely do we see something like that from Kristin. 4 putt and a double bogey. Kristin going to slide back to that 5 away from the lead. Paige now only 3 away.
Yeah, what a surprising turn of events.
Hole 9. This is your guess for easiest hole?
Yep.
It's a par 3, 332 feet, double mandatory. These trees right here. If you miss, it's a very punishing drop zone. It's a bogey, obviously, at best. What was the wind doing today?
This was like kind of a panic guess for me for easiest hole because it was a screaming headwind and it was an
Okay.
ultimately terrifying hole to play today.
It is really hard in the headwind. I like it on a calm day. I like the kind of hyzer flip to drifting shot and going on the right side. Today, you're probably going to see a nice stable disc punching straight and then hyzering out to the left, most likely in circle 2.
Yeah, it was right. It was
Ooh.
headwind and then switching to right to left and then sometimes switching left to right. It was very gusty, very swirly through this little tree-lined pathways with some little ant mounds all around.
What a shot from Paige. Getting really aggressive there, and it pays off.
This gallery's probably blocking the wind a little bit.
I think the players could be like, all right, just everyone shuffle
A little forward.
forward. Silva with kind of a more typical, I don't want to call it a conservative play, but definitely safer than what Paige did. Judging by the ponytail, it looks kind of right to left in this moment.
Oh, Missy, so close to getting up to inside the circle, but you're really actually happy with that on this hole.
Kristin opting for the sidearm.
I think that's a really big advantage here. A lot of discs had that same problem today, though. There was some sort of elevator that made discs rise down there. The direction of the wind had both backhands and forehands heading up into the trees.
Missy just going to lay up for par. Here's Kristin from about 38 feet. Nice band hit, but another missed stroke.
I picked this as the easiest hole, and only one person got to circle 1 in regulation. Oh, whoops. 11 people got to circle 2 in regulation, so it did play tough today.
Paige not able to convert that birdie after a great tee shot. Oh, Silva squeaks it in, though.
Yes, she does. Silva, one of 4 competitors to birdie today, all of them from circle 2.
No. Looked like that tree was right in her way.
We saw her struggle a little bit with the straddle putt yesterday. She's able to go back to her more comfortable stagger putt.
Oh, man.
What the heck?
That looked like a solid putt. A little left, but... Wow, first Kristin on the last hole and then Paige on this one. Never something we expect.
No, both really solid putters, too.
A lot happened. A lot just happened. Missy Gannon, 5-stroke lead, kind of how it's been. Paige Pierce and Kristin Lätt, after some putting woes, 5 strokes back. Silva Saarinenn, 2 down, and pretty far off the lead. Annika Sten holding strong at 6 down, but we can tell by the leaderboard here, playing very windy and difficult.
Yeah, definitely not as many birdies yesterday in theory or in practice. It was a lot of headwind shots, and it does not get any easier as we head into the back 9. We just saw 2 3-putts from our lead card competitors, so like you can see, anything can happen on any hole at any time. Missy has a little comfortable lead right now, but tune in with us on the back 9 of Championship Sunday to see how this all wraps up. here at our first major of the year. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Honk.
The Jomez YouTube.
We're two Huggies.
We don't have our own.
Get me out of here.
Honk.